Hey everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of In the Lab. I'm your boy Dangerous, and here we're going to look at making some soca beats. Today's video, we're going to look at making some jam soca. Jam soca is simply music which has like those one chorus, two chorus most, repeating bass lines, pulsing bass lines, very rhythmic. It's very jamming. It's that music that when you play the instrumental alone in the party, you can just play that instrumental for an hour and keep the party going because it's jamming. But let's go in the lab and take a closer look. So yes, we're in the lab, and today, as I said, we're going to look at some groovy jam soca. I always like to start building beats with drums 9 out of 10 times. So today we can start with some drums. So I like to put out my kit. I've got a kit here with a kick drum, snare. I have tom, another snare just in case, hi-hat, open hi-hat really, and then some little percussion like a conga and a cowbell. So let's start with the kick. You can't get more cliche than the straight kick. Straight kick for soca is 9 out of 10 times the kick of preference. So let's start with that. Using my Reason, I'll put my click track on. Let's go. So I'm gonna just, with Reason, we basically type any notes that we want to hear or the beats that we want to hear. So let's start with the kick. So today we at 125 BPM, by the way. So yeah, there we have our kick straight as an arrow. Start with some snares, and we can try to get the groove organized now. Basically, I have my kick and snare so far, and it's sounding pretty groovy already. Play it from the top. So now I'm going to add probably a tom. So let's go and look for a tom. Like I said in the intro, you must have a vast library of sounds. I mean, you don't have to, but it gives you a little more versatility in terms of what you're really looking for. So right now, I'm just looking for a tom really just to give me a little backbeat, kind of heartbeat. So let's go through them. I like this one. Let me try another one. It's a little too low. my snare sometimes just so I can hear the rest of the stuff better too. As we see, we have the tom already. Well, some people also, well, some producers also like to use more than one snares. That is a preference. I might use another snare today just to get some more. Sometimes you use another snare just to get some little grace notes underneath your primary snare. Sometimes I like to do it to help bring out to emphasize the groove some more. But today we can use it for some grace snares. So let's look for a snare. I'm going to use my 808 kit. I like the snares from the 808 collection for those who have it. So looking for a light snare, like a piccolo, or as I said, like one of those soft 808 snares, like that one right there. Yeah, this might work. Let me see what I have before the kick. So yeah, so we finished with the snares. We have the snares, the tom, we have the kick drum. Everything's sounding good. So now we can add a hi-hat or some hi-hat action and see what we're going. So I have this one. Yeah, the closed hi-hats is it's a lot of energy too. Open hi-hats usually pulls back if you're not be careful where you're pulsing it. So we're gonna use some closed hi-hats today. Not those. Yeah. So let me see what we have. I like to mute the kick when I also programming too, as I said before. I have the hi-hat right now gracing underneath the snare a little bit, just to give the snare a little more action so the hi-hat is not pronounced. It's more like to give the snare more energy with their own kind of grace notes. That's the best way to explain it. And yeah, we can try to put down some keys now and see if we can figure out what jam we can use. All right, well, we had the drums. We just did our drums, and we can get ready for some music right now. So, like I said, it's jam soca, and let me play what I mean by jam. So, you know, sometimes we hear live band, or in the music, people might produce. You will hear these kind of stops. So basically, we're gonna mess with that for a minute. So the thing about doing beats is be very difficult to pick the key that you're going. So basically, whatever key that you come up with at first and it just sounds good or feels good, I would suggest you roll with that. For this particular one, I want to get a little bass kind of aggression, so I can look for those keys that with the left hand bass sounds a bit like more bassy, I guess. So let's mess around with that same jam. I decided I'm going to do C sharp. Let's check it out. So then when we usually have jams like that, to get usually to the chorus, we would do something pretty musical just to break off with the monotony in the jam, and then back to the jam. So I can mess around and try to find some kind of musical part to lead me back into the jam. So like I would do like 8 bars of the jam, and probably like another 8 bars of just some music, and then back to the jam. So let me mess with that for a minute too. Yeah, I kind of like that. So let me record it. After I record that, I'm going to quantize that because my timing was a little off there. And always remember, quantizing is your friend, people. Unless you like to play loose. I mean, it works sometimes, but. So now we have a loop, people. A loop that we can work with. So I'll just copy that and send that down the track. So yeah, so once you find those 4 bars or that one chord or that thing, you have your jam. Then you put your musical part to lead you back to the jam. It always has to have something to lead you back to the jam, a build up or something like that. So in essence, what I did here is I have the jam, and then I create some chords, musical, to bring me back into the jam. Let's take a look at the tone itself. A little tail end that I'm not liking. So you take care of the tail end of most tones by bringing off the release. So you just bring it down the release so you can get a sharper attack. sometimes you might want to take off some of the effects. Sometimes the effects just kill the vibe. So just take out some of the reverb. I might add another instrument within this one. The expander allows me to build my own songs by giving me multiple tracks to blend sounds. So a combination of sounds. So sometimes I might want this same instrument, but because it's so low, I might want to add an extra octave so you can hear a little brightness. So what I'm going to add to that is another brass, or kind of hit. Yeah, I think I should add a hit. And it's playing an octave above. So right now we have this. When I add the next hit, brass hit that I want to add, you get this. Nice, but I want it an octave higher so that I could get a more right. It sounds more grand and bigger, and it's more clarity too. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to add something percussive, kind of bubble, kind of arpeggio kind of vibe that could give me some notes. Well, it also give me some rhythm, and it could outline the chords that are being played, or I could add more chords with some arpeggio work without being it so pronounced. So it'll be like ghosting and, you know, very subtle. So the percussion instruments I like to use are stuff like banjos and mute guitars and mallets. And if it's a synth tone, it has to be very plucky. So let me mess with it a little bit and see what we have. Alright, so I guess I have something that can work there, so let's put it down. So yeah, basically that's it. Not just repeating and looping. I would just quantize that and use the best part of it and copy and paste. Yeah, so let's see how everything sounds. Kick included, everything. So yeah, people, we back to the drums. We come to address some more percussion. A cliche percussion, I can't even say cliche, but a effective percussion that I like to use is the timpani. The timpani is big, it is aggressive, it's give you that extra earthy kind of grassroots kind of jam feel. You hear a lot in in job music. You know, you hear a lot in Vincy music, Dennery, St. Lucia, the Trinidadians. Oh Lord, back in the day with Sherman Winchester, Neil Bernard's percussion and his production, it was timpanis right through. So we can experiment with the timpanis today. One of the timpanis that I like to use is in the Korg M1. The Korg M1 is a classic module. I plead to you, all producers, to have a Korg M1 module keyboard or some semblance of it in their arsenal. It has a really nice timpani that I like to use. So with groovy music and timpanis, all depends on the grooves too. So like this is as I said, a groovy kind of soca. So you won't want to get too busy with the timpanis. So basically, I think what I'm going to do with these timpanis also is what the bass is going to be doing also. So I will probably like it to ride the bass. So I can put down something pretty simple and then I can build on top of that. Alright, so let's record these timpanis and see. I can record a few patterns and choose the best one. Actually, that was pretty decent. So let's use that. Again, I'm going to quantize and put my velocity up to all. Let's hear that loop with the kick drum. So this section here where you're hearing it is less busy than the one before. I'm going to use that as my main loop. So I'm going to copy that to the top. So I loving the timpani as it is right now, but I think it has a little too much tail. So I'm going to take off the release time. All right, so let me deal with some bass now. So yeah, people, we're about to put down some bass, and these bass is basically like the heartbeat. The bass is critical, whether it be a soft bass, whether it be a loud bass. The bass could make it or break it. So we can keep the bass pretty simple on this track. Let's complete this bass, and we complete the bass and see what this track sound like. So I'm gonna record the bass now. Also, I like to use counkins. I don't really like to use counkins for tracks. I let it just play and then I was coming at any point and stuff. But counkins are good for like when you want to get at the very top of the track. So this is just my style, huh? So I just will pick up somewhere in the middle, and then when the loop comes back, then I would play along. So after I recorded a few rounds of that, I will quantize it again and pretty much use the best parts, copy and paste, and complete this bass track. So I'm going to use the second round that I played, which is this. I'm going to use that for my main jam. And then I'm going to use the pedal bass section as my musical interlude. And then back to the jam. And there you have it, folks. Pretty much completed a beat. So let's do a little fine tuning. I'm gonna add some crashes, do a couple of dropouts. You can see how it sounds from top to bottom.